My half-sister tried to scald me, but she was the one who ended up burned, Amelia explained to the medic. She still couldn't believe that Sophie had emerged as Charles's new girlfriend and got jealous enough from one conversation to spill hot coffee on her chest. What kind of person does she think I am? I wouldn't have shown up in a stunning dress to flirt with Charles if I knew he was her boyfriend. Using the word boyfriend to describe Charles's relationship with Sophie nearly made Amelia gag. The medic completed her work on Amelia's wounds. Her voice was calm and soothing. "You're lucky the injury wasn't serious, Miss Rivera," the doctor said. "Prince Javier will be glad to know that you'll be fine in no time." Amelia thanked the doctor, and as she left, she overheard the doctor tell a colleague, "The prince is such a generous person. He went out of his way to ensure that a random employee received proper medical treatment." Amelia shook her head at the comment. If only people knew that she wasn't a random employee to the prince, but the mother of his child. Then they might take Javier off his pedestal for his good deed. It was nice that he helped her with the medic, but in comparison to all the damage he'd caused, it was just a drop in the bucket. With the gown now covered with coffee, Amelia had no choice but to change back into her work clothes from earlier today. When she returned to the party to avoid drawing any more attention, she tucked herself away in a corner for the rest of the event. But soon, Faith noticed Amelia zoning out and approached her friend. "I'm gonna get jealous if you keep staring at my future husband from across the room," she teased. "The rumors going around about what happened tonight between you and the prince are wild. Is it true he essentially ran an ice cube down your chest?" "That's a rumor that's going around?" Amelia was mortified by the thought. "It was literally nothing. I just got lucky that Javier, Prince Calderon, was around to see what happened." Faith's grin disappeared from her face. "Oh, well, that was anticlimactic. You're welcome, by the way. I told you that you'd be the center of attention in that dress." Amelia winced at the memory of her friend's beautiful dress now covered in coffee stains. "I'm so sorry about the dress. I'll pay for the dry cleaning." Faith wouldn't hear of it. "Don't be silly. The only person who should be paying for that is Sophie." The mere mention of Sophie's name gave Amelia a headache. "I'm actually hiding here to avoid her and Charles. Faith, when we saw each other at the bar, I swear I felt something between us. But seeing that he's with Sophie, maybe I just imagined it." Faith leaned in closer. "I don't think you imagined it. That man has been stealing glances at you all night." Sadness colored Amelia's eyes. "Thanks. But there's officially no chance of me ever getting back with him now that he's dating Sophie." After witnessing Amelia strut into the gala feeling so confident, seeing her defeated like this pissed Faith off on Amelia's behalf. If Charles is willing to date a demon like Sophie, then he's too stupid to deserve to be with you. Amelia opened her arms and welcomed Faith's comforting hug. She felt truly lucky to have a best friend willing to trash talk her ex-boyfriend and her sister to make her feel better. Later that night, in her bedroom at Javier's villa, Amelia lay awake, trying to push away the bitter sadness that had grown in her heart since she saw Charles with Sophie. "I can't be mad at Charles when I was the one who pushed him away 6 years ago. I can only blame myself. Well, maybe not just myself. I can also blame everyone's favorite Spanish prince for luring me into bed and then vanishing without a trace." After the drama-filled night, Amelia's mind was too wild to fall asleep. So she wandered into the kitchen in search of some late-night comfort food. Amidst all the hubbub, she had forgotten to eat at the party. She opened the fridge and her eyes immediately landed on the empanadas that Max had helped her make the day before. Making treats together was one of their favorite activities. They both cherished it. As Amelia heated up the empanadas, it felt strange to cook them on this enormous industrial-sized stove compared to the small one in the tiny apartment she had left behind. Once they were ready, she tossed them in a bowl and hopped up on the counter to enjoy a bite. But when she sunk her teeth into the empanada, it was so hot it scalded her mouth. In pain, she spat the hunk of empanada back out into her bowl and hopped around the kitchen, fanning her mouth. Ah, ha, 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 hot! What is this dance you're doing in my kitchen? The sudden rumble of Javier's voice in the quiet kitchen startled her. She didn't even hear him enter. Ah, stop sneaking up on me like that. Wear a bell or something. Amelia huffed and leaned against the counter with her snack. Did you manage to scald yourself for the second time in one night? She didn't feel like dignifying his provoking question with an answer. All Amelia wanted was to have a lonely midnight snack and feel sorry for herself while she watched a soapy TV show on her phone. But it seemed she was doomed to run into the devil anytime she ventured out into the house late at night. As Javier searched the fridge for a snack, Amelia couldn't help but notice how casually sexy he looked in his robe and pajama pants. If only that rude mouth wasn't attached to the rest of him. It really sours the overall package. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Amelia stare at him for a few seconds without saying anything. At this point, he was getting used to her complete disregard for social norms. He looked like a lost pup as he rummaged through containers of chopped carrots and cucumbers in the fridge. She saw him scowl every time he came across one of the healthy options his nutritionalist instructed his staff to make. She smirked at his obvious disdain. Want some empanada? She offered, breaking the silence. But Javier didn't even bother to look at her when he gave a dismissive, Taken aback by his coldness, she rolled her eyes. I was just trying to be nice since you helped me get my burns treated today, she said. But apparently the empanadas Max and I made aren't fancy enough for a prince. He sighed, hearing the sass in her voice, then reached out for the bowl. Max made these? She pulled it back. Sorry, the offer is now rescinded, she teased. If you can't appreciate the home-cooked pastry that our son helped me make with love, then you don't deserve to know how good they taste. She grabbed an empanada from the bowl and made a show of taking a big bite with exaggerated satisfaction. What a perfect midnight snack. Javier's stomach suddenly growled. It seemed Amelia wasn't the only one who forgot to eat at tonight's event. Do you have to chew so loudly? What kind of manners are you teaching our son? Amelia grinned and made her chewing even louder at his expense. Just then, Javier snatched the bowl from her hands and shoved a big piece of an empanada into his mouth. Javier closed his eyes to savor the delicious flavors. Amelia's marketing was not an exaggeration. He hadn't enjoyed food like this in a long time. Talk about bad manners. Give that back. She snatched her plate back as he chewed with a proud smirk on his face. Amelia looked down at the bowl and froze with the realization. Oh no, did he eat the piece that I spat out? He did. Recalling his misophobia, she felt bad about this snafu that was bound to send a germaphobe like him into a panic. She considered not telling him so he could enjoy his snack in ignorant bliss, but seeing that smug look still plastered on his face, she decided to share the news. Javier, do you remember that piece of empanada that I spit out when I burned my mouth? Yeah, I think it's now in your mouth. Javier's face darkened, and his brow furrowed into a glare. Amelia rolled her eyes and held her hand up to his mouth. Here, spit it out. He looked down at her hand, wanting to spit it out, but couldn't decide which was the more disgusting option, to keep her germs in his mouth or see his chewed-up food in someone else's hand. Amelia got closer with her hand cupped under his mouth and coaxed him like she would with Max. Come on. You can do it. Spit it out. She was so close that his senses were overtaken by her soft, warm scent of vanilla and citrus. It reminded him of the night they spent together. She smelled just as sweet then, exactly like this. Lost in that thought, he forgot what he was fretting about and swallowed the empanada without thinking. The second it happened, they both froze at the realization of what he had done. A sudden giggle escaped Amelia's mouth, feeling a bit awkward about the situation. Why did you swallow my germs? Are you okay? He was at a loss for words. For some reason, any time he was around this woman, he caught himself acting a little reckless. Javier gave her a surly grunt and left the kitchen. Reflecting on how strangely intimate the exchange felt, Amelia's cheeks flushed. When that little midnight snack bounced from her mouth into his, it was as if they shared an indirect kiss.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.